the system has completely changed, and it looks like the education system is failing the young generation. I don't say that it was best for us, but it was better, because today, when we speak to people, to young people today, and think that you knew already in high school, the basic, okay, the basic. So in this video, there will be two discussions, because like I said, I didn't prepare this video, but I will try to, because there's so many things I want to say in this video, but I will try to not be everywhere, because all over the place, because you will be lost. So that's cool. They have good manners. So the things that we knew are now expensive. Okay, the good manner that we used to have are now seen like something expensive, and it's now expensive. You know, for example, today, when we speak to people in English, it's maybe different, but in French, we have, for example, two ways of saying you. In French, the you, we say tu, okay, or vous, all right? So the tu is something that is someone that you know personally. No, the you, that you know personally. And the vous is someone that you don't know personally. That's someone that is maybe high in status or in social, or he has an important position in the country, for example, a president. So you don't call the president tu, okay? In French, you call him vous. Bonjour, monsieur, comment allez-vous? Okay, or you talk to someone, you talk to your teacher, your professor, you say vous, because you have respect for that person. But now you see that more and more people feel comfortable talking to someone that they don't know as tu, which when you see something like that, you already have an idea of the background of that person. So more and more people have losing good habit, and more people are, I will say, not really educated. You know, I always say something. Having degrees on the wall for me means absolutely nothing, because you can have people who have degrees on the wall, and then when you talk to them, it's empty. It is empty. There is not a challenging or an interesting discussion. They are sometimes just limited to what they study, and that's it. They're not curious to know about the world of something outside of their environment or what they study. Back in the days, I remember when people were saying in the time, they say if you want to be a good student, you are not only limited to what you study, but you are also curious to know more. For instance, I remember my sister, my brother, they all have science, okay, high school diploma, science, baccalaureate, okay. But I remember my sister was a good reader. She's good in literature, she's good in languages, but she's science first, okay. Me, I wasn't good in mathematics, but I knew it was important for me to study mathematics, okay, to do all this. But I was really comfortable in things like literature, language, okay. But we also have what we call general knowledge. General knowledge was not something that was imposed in school. When you were a good student, you were curious to know a little bit more in general knowledge. It includes history. It doesn't have to be all that, but something curious about what you know, what you can learn from other country. You can learn from what? From curiosity to watch TV documentaries. You can also go to library. You can, you know what I mean? Or magazine. It's how you build your knowledge a little bit more, your curiosity, you know. I understand when people say, but the education system that we have is mostly for the Western. But what have we done, we as African? What have we written like manual for us in our school? There are few manual, but we have to have more books for our own, our manual, from our, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of work here. You see, it's a lot of work here. So let me get to what I want to say from the beginning. Okay, I filmed a video and I want to share with you a little bit of that video. And I want to show you, I want to show you how young people were speaking in 1956.
Coming from the Gold Coast, where there are many Nigerians, I think that I sometimes look down on the Nigerians as somewhat inferior to us. Because you see, the Nigerians who come to the Gold Coast are mostly beggars. So that's my feeling about Nigerians.
It's funny. I don't see how you have a case against for this your proposition, or I say for this your stand. Actually, personally, I look towards the Gold Coast not as inferiors, but perhaps as people that are individualistic, are not working towards the communal effort towards the welfare of the nation. They, of course, have made great strides because they are a very small country and yet have all these differences.
See the quality of students.
So we have also our own prejudices against the African Negroes. We consider them as inferiors. We have, of course, our own reasons for saying so.
I just want to show you how, look the level of high school student in 1956, around 1950 something, okay? You don't see that anymore. You don't see it. And look how they are dressed. The outfit they have, the way they look, very responsible, you know? You don't see it anymore. I want to show you how the education system has completely fallen, okay? And that's why, understand why sometimes we, parents have, some parents who really are concerned about the education of their children can, have to do the part, because you see that, look the level here and the level today. You have young people of this age cannot even have this kind of debate today. In our time, from the time from my sister to my time, because I was in high school in the 90s, we had debates. We have, in classroom, we could do that. You have to do some research and everything. But you will also have to be curious about the outside of the world outside. Okay? So it's just something I want to share with you here, just to show you how the education system has completely fallen. That's African students. Okay? And Thomas Sowell said the same thing that in America, same. It has completely downgraded. And there are things that they have created, some branches that they have created that are really not really important, that we don't know how this branch has been created in the education system, just because people want to have degrees and they do what they do, almost nothing with it. Okay, it's just a little parenthesis here. But what I want to say in this video is this. Few months ago, in December, my sister will visit me and everything. We have her visit, and we have because we like to discuss a lot. We like to discuss something in general. Okay, we discuss about everything like politics, or social, economy. We like to discuss about everything. So I ask her a question. I ask her, why in the world we, the African students, have to study the history of other countries in the world more than our own history, okay? Because when I see the program that I took in my high school, we have to study the history of other countries, okay? Countries who don't even care about us, but we study about their history. We study about the geography of this history as well. When I talk about it, I'm serious. We study geography of some countries, not many of African, but mostly countries like Russia. We study Russia, the Soviet Union. We study Japan. We study China. We study America. We study France. We study and when you study a language, they include also that part in the language, which is normal. For example, when you study Spanish, you are studying Spanish. You have to study the map of Spain. Yeah. You study geography of Spain, you study history of Spain, you study, and beside the language, you study the economic of Spain. Because I remember I had a presentation in Spanish about the main economic resource of Spain. Okay? So I asked her, why do we Africans have to study all that the Vietnam War, all this, what did we have to study that? And she told me when she went to study in university in France, she discussed with some other students as well at university, and they respond to her one thing. They respond to her that we only study countries, okay? We only studied country that matters to us. That's what the French told her. Now understand what it means. It means that if your country, they don't care, which is very normal. If that country does not matter to them, what should they study your country? So it means that when you see a European knowing a lot about a country in Africa, it's because he studied that as a specific branch in his history in university years, because he has a specific plan. Okay, and it's the same thing for American, I believe, that they study that specifically for something, but for us, it was a must to study all of this as African. Okay, so what it means is what? It means that if for the French, they only study countries that matter to them, it means that countries like Japan, Germany, other countries in Europe, for sure, Russia, because Russia is powerful, China, they study America as well, England and everything. I don't know if they study South America, I'm not sure. I don't know. That's why when I went to Washington DC, I have met many French people who didn't even know that their own countries had colonized some African countries. They were shocked to see a black African speaking that language fluently, like I did. And then we were like, you don't know that your country has colonized countries in Africa? They say, oh, I never knew that. It shows also how the education system is already, anyway, just an example, okay? But you understand by the answer that they only study countries that matter to them. Now, if for French people, they say that, now imagine what it means for an American. If for them, America is number one in the world, so for them it would be like, what should we study the other countries in the world because we are number one? But the thing that is very interesting is that it will make sense if they will make sense in a way, even if it doesn't really make sense, because America is, United States is a country in the world, okay? But it's interesting because even that, when you meet some American, they are clueless about their own country sometimes. No, it's serious. You have American who will tell you that Hawaii is another country in the world, when Hawaii, for example, is a state. It's their own state. How is it possible that in 2025 you have Americans themselves who are supposed to study their own geography or their own country? They don't even know about that, you know? And I see that, and then the person you tell you, oh yeah, I travel abroad, and you say, where did you go? Oh, I went to Hawaii. Oh, I'm leaving America, I'm going to Hawaii. Hawaii is your own country. Hawaii is a state of America, and you don't know that. We already knew that in the 80s. We already know that in the 80s, 90s, that America has Hawaii as a state. How did we know that, we who are from the outside? I remember when you had TV series like Hawaii 5-0, that old TV series, we were watching that when we were in France. Okay, during the summer, there are many American TV series. That's how we knew already that, oh, so the Hawaiian are American. We already knew that in the 80s. Me, I was young. I was like, how is it possible? And then your brother, your senior said, oh, because Hawaii is American, duh. But for them, it's like, we are living in America, It just shows you something, that the education system is failing us more and more. And as a parent, it is important to look after your children program at school. I'm not done yet. I have to speak more about that.